this, and good morning, everyone. What is going on? We're back again with another episode. It's been a while.
Yes,
Episode 77 of the South Florida Gamers Podcast. I'm your host, Silverback Senpai, and across the table, around the round table, goes Waluigi.
Good morning, folks. It definitely has been a while. How have you been, brother?
It's been good. It's been a minute since we've done a podcast on a Sunday, and there was a lot of things that was just going on between the time that we had our last podcast guest, that was Sabrick, and yeah, a lot of things have happened between that time. So just gonna give you guys a recap of what was going on through that timeline, just to get everyone caught up to speed and whatnot. But unfortunately, AJ not here with us.
He's still alive. Don't worry.
Yeah, his girlfriend keeps him hostage on the weekends. So
we're calling you out.
it's definitely her fault that our third co-host is not here, because she likes to have him on the weekends or whatnot. So the guy has to travel 3-4 hours from
Miami to Tampa.
Yeah, and then back. So yeah, he wasn't able to make it. So Katie, we definitely blame you for this. Like, hey,
that's okay.
we need our guy. Okay, like he is a member of this podcast, and we need him on Sundays. So I blame you.
Yeah, we're gonna miss the fuck Destiny moments or Genshin Impact.
Literally.
Don't worry, I said it for you now, AJ.
But anyway, all that aside, let's catch up. All right, so what has happened from after Sabrick and up until now? I mean, a lot of things have been going on lately, and I would say for the most of it was myself getting ready for Fighter Fest 5, which was one of the biggest undertakings that I've ever done in South Florida.
Yes.
To where now South Florida has a regional.
Yeah.
Because that was the goal after doing Fighter Fest from the very beginning, like the very first Fighter Fest, when it was literally outside of Flynn's Arcade.
Yeah, that was the first time it's actually in a different venue, like whole different perspective, and the fact that you had cosplayers, you had people learning about games, and you had quite the viewings.
Yeah, and we were running I think we were running 8 tournament games,
and then you have the Oasis, which is a side tournament.
Yeah.
Oh my god, that was crazy! It was packed in there for Street Fighter 6 demo.
Yeah, that I saw. The Oasis was getting a good amount of turnout for just people coming in, and definitely it overfilled the room.
Yes, I was not expecting that.
Yeah, because you're thinking when it comes to a breakout room or a room just for people to play casually or whatnot, you wouldn't think that it'd be packed, but it got packed.
It definitely did. Major shout out to Dreadnought or DK Battle Lounge. He hold that thing down.
Yeah, he actually did, and I'm very impressed with that. And everyone had a really good time. Granted, I did put out a review form for everyone publicly, for everyone to hey give us some feedback on the event. What are your thoughts on it? Did you like it? Were there some things that we needed to improve on?
What were the funniest ones?
And I know some people were they weren't complaining necessarily, but more so just giving feedback on the Street Fighter Third Strike port. I think Dreadnought was running the Capcom Anniversary version of it, and people did not like that version.
Was there a delay or lag or input?
I believe so.
I didn't know that actually, so that's what I was wondering.
Yeah, so you learn from these things, and you learn from it and be like, all right, so next time if we were to ever do something like this again, I would definitely not get that version of the game, so that way people would actually have a really good playing experience on a game that actually if whatever version of the game it is, you want to make sure that you get the best version of it. And I even thought that, okay, probably you could run Street Fighter Third Strike on the PS4 with the Capcom Anniversary, and a lot of people are saying like, nah, that's
It's like, be careful with that.
yeah, like nah, you're better off just either getting the PS3 version of Third Strike, which I do have, or
Oh, nice.
yeah, and or the PC version of it, where it's not the Capcom Anniversary one, but you just more so just get that version of the game. So I would say Fighter Fest was good. I mean, of course, before I get into Fighter Fest, I'm
Well, this is from a span of like 3 weeks. What has happened within that time?
yeah, a lot has happened, but I would say a lot for me due to the fact that I was preparing for Fighter Fest because I wanted to make sure that all the TOs were all good to go. I had to also make sure that
Yeah.
we had all the hardware that we needed to, run this event. We're looking at, numbers, like how many people have signed up so that way we can get a prediction of, okay, do we need more additional setups for certain games or do we not need that many? And I would say with not Street Fighter with Guilty Gear Strive, I was not expecting. I wasn't expecting that huge of a turnout.
I was waiting for that.
I was not.
Oh my
It
god.
was one of the most unexpected turnouts I've ever seen in my life, and I was not expecting Strive to pull up and turn out the way that it did. Like, let me put the camera on me. For all the people from the Guilty Gear Strive community in South Florida, Central Florida, Southwest Florida, North of Florida that showed up to Fighter Fest last Saturday, shout out to y'all, man, because y'all made it happen. Like, y'all blew my expectations out the roof because, honestly, with this amount of setups that we had, we were at least expecting upwards to 55 to 65 people max. That's how much that we were expecting. I wasn't expecting 81.
Oh yeah.
I was not expecting 81. Like, holy shit.
Because the week before that, you're like, oh yeah, there's 35 people. Now there's 40.
Yeah.
And there's 55.
Yeah.
55 the day of.
Yeah.
And then just seeing 81 entrants.
Yeah.
Like, we were all just stunned, and like the whole room was packed. It was a lot of good vibes. A lot of good competition, heavy hitters.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Like, I think what surprised me the most was the fact that Hotashi and Razzo came out to this event like they flew from where they were.
Yeah. That was. They also had like a grind session, Marvello. Like, they were really committed to this event.
Yeah, so and then of course it was also $1,000 pot bonus tournament. So so it was like that there's a lot of money to be made in this tournament, and making top 13 was not going to be easy for anybody.
No, it wasn't.
It's not going to be easy because you have a lot of heavy hitters. You also have a lot of mid heavy hitters as well, and it's just like the heavy hitters that typically make top 8 are more than likely going to make top 8. It's the mid heavy hitters where it's going to be a complete struggle to even make top 13, let alone top 8. And I would say the one person that took me by surprise was Butter Punch.
I knew you were gonna say that, but
Butter Punch took me by surprise.
like I'm biased just because that's my bro and that's my teammate, and that was the funniest thing. So within that 3-week span, he took out Punk.
Yeah.
He was about to go against him, but Punk just left. He's just like, you know what? I'm done. I see Butters. I'm out. That looks like is what happened. I don't know what his perspective was, and I hope we have something justified, like he had emergency or something. At least so it won't look back.
Or the fact that one of the complaint, I would not say it's a complaint, but the feedback that I got after Fighter Fest was, Strive ran late, so I would have to if I were to do Fighter Fest again, which I do plan on doing Fighter Fest again, but unfortunately, it's not going to be this year. I'd have to push it the next year.
Oh yeah, with all the heavy-hitting games coming out soon, I don't blame you.
Yeah.
Especially with rumors of MK12. Then you have Tekken 8 coming, next year as well?
Possibly towards the end of the year. Possibly.
Ooh. I say it's going to get pushed to 2024. Just so it can at least be perfected. Because they're showing demos or alpha demos within the combo breaker. For those who are going, you lucky son of a guns. But man, there's the evolution of Street Fighter 6. We got to see how that's going to look.
Right.
There's a lot of variables into next year's Fighter Fest, and I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, so that's the reason why I'm just like, making a very calculated decision on if I were to granted we want to do Fighter Fest every 2 years. Every 2 years because I think that is doable. It's also manageable. But after doing this one and of course how expensive it was because
Oh my gosh.
as I've told this to a couple of people that asked me about this, that each and every Fighter Fest has been like more cost heavy than the previous.
Yeah, that is true.
Like the first one, okay, I would say I roughly spent about maybe like 500, and then the next one about 700. Then Fighter Fest 3 about the 1,000 mark, and then Fighter Fest 4
Which was like in here in the expansion around that time.
No, 3 and 4 were in here.
Okay.
Yeah, 1 and 2 were outside. 3 and 4 were in here. 5, we took it to another venue, and I would say, Fighter Fest 4, I would say about maybe 12 to 1,500. So Fighter Fest 5, you're looking around possibly 5-digit mark.
Holy smokes.
Yeah, 5 digits.
That is quite impressive and terrifying.
Because I would say one of the, granted, we could do Fighter Fest. We could have done Fighter Fest 5 here. And, it'd be the same price as, Fighter Fest 4. No big deal. But it's very limited. It's very limited. And of course the venue owners, they do have plans to, most of the stuff that y'all see in the back, most of it is going to be gone, if not all of it, within the coming weeks. Most of it or all of it is going to be gone. So that's going to allow us to have even more free space, because one of the things that I pitched to them was I do want to get at least two more streaming stations, to where this one right over here, it stays where it's at, another stream station over there, and another stream station over there. That way, with the one cluster here, and then usually we have another cluster there, and then you have the wall set up. That's about three
different zones.
Three different zones, to where you could run like 3 unique different tournaments.
That is true.
And then of course, this space would be you kept to itself or whatnot. And I think for more bigger turnouts, then of course, the Warhammer tables would be put up. These tables would be pushed up forward, so that way most of this back area is just dedicated to just tournaments or whatnot. If we're expecting like a really, really big turnout. So we could have done Fighter Fest 5 here, but we decided to, more so it was my idea to do it at another venue, to make this as big as possible, to really I would say
emphasize, or
I wouldn't say emphasize. I would say that to make the mark that we want to set like a standard, and prove ourselves that Flynn's is capable of doing a regional tournament at this level.
It's corny, but there's an anime, but it says surpass your limits.
Yeah.
Black Clover. But I know exactly what you're saying.
Yeah, so that's exactly what we did, and we went all out for this event. Like, that's the reason why I said that the budget has been in the 5-digit mark.
Yeah, that's rough. But
and now the more I'm learning about this now that the event is over, and after action review, seeing what can we improve, what we can do better and whatnot, taking notes, getting community feedback from everyone about the event, and now it's like, okay, just by reading everyone's feedback, which I 100% greatly appreciate, it made me come to the decision that it's better to put Fighter Fest, the next one, Fighter Fest 6, next year. Do it next year, so that way, this time, we are 100% prepared.
That's true.
And I know that with the current venue, great venue, solid venue. There are some things that we could have done a little bit better, which, you know, there's always room for improvement because this is everyone's first time coming to the Urban League of Broward County, and, you know, shout out for them to allow us to, you know, have the tournament there.
Yeah.
There were some things that I would say I would pitch to them, such as we need for us to have access to the internet.
Yes.
It needs to be hardline, especially for the stream setups, because the guys down at Miramar Masters and Next Level, Ryan and his crew, Convicted of Fun, shout out to his crew and whatnot. They were having issues with the stream, and they were having issues with connectivity and whatnot on their setup.
Oh, that bites.
And then, of course, the other setup that I was running Smash Ultimate on, I was having connection issues as well. So I had to end up having to have Smash Ultimate be recorded. They have to do the same thing on their setup, but the setup where Flynn's Gaming FL was on,
That was the only one that was streamed.
yeah, that was like the only one that was streamed, and it was consistent with 0 drops.
Yeah.
So I was just like, yeah, next time we need it to be hardline. Like, if there's any way where we can just get, even if we have to buy a bunch of 100-foot Ethernet cords,
Okay.
and just put it into a port and then just, you know, stretch the line out or whatnot, we'll do that. Like, we'll do that just so that we can have great solid connection, because yes, the Urban League has very good Wi-Fi, but when you have so many people that's tapped into it, because granted, we were not allowed to give it to, you know, any of the attendees that are attending the event. The fact that you also had the vendors that were also inside using the Wi-Fi. You had the TOs using the Wi-Fi, and then, of course, the people running the stream using the Wi-Fi. So already it was just...
It was a little chaotic.
Yeah, it's a bit chaotic. So it's just like, we would just, for those that are, for us that are streaming, we need that hard line in order for us to broadcast it, you know, so that way there are like no connection problems, there are no issues. So that is something that I will definitely pitch to them. Should we do Fighter Fest at their venue for next year? But we are open to other venues that can meet our accommodations, because one of the important accommodations is making sure that, one, it's spacious enough, it's in a good area, free parking, because yeah, we could have done it in Miami, but how many places have a lot of free parking? Not that many. And if
Miami's a scam with their parking.
yeah, and if there is free parking, then it's typically in a bad area. So it's just like, do you really want to take that risk? I don't think so.
Yeah, I would not either. As a competitive perspective, it was actually a lot of fun meeting new people, seeing what people were playing against. I legit played Tekken. I didn't even play Tekken. I kind of just jumped into a tournament out of boredom. The one person I had to go was Daniel, that one photography. I felt so bad that I 2-0'd him. As Steve. I don't even play the game, and I'm like, I got one win, and that's all I needed. And then I got wiped. I got mopped by everybody else, and that's okay. Then at one point, I actually showed somebody how good a quality of a snack box is, because Junk Food actually sent me some stuff for getting a tattoo of their snack box, actually.
Yeah.
I found it hilarious. I have a video to review, but I haven't posted it yet. Sponsor me. Not important, but I ended up loaning my snack box to somebody, and they actually enjoyed it. Because I did some subtle modifications, like a heavy metal plate, and I put some key switches, and then I also did like a artwork. And a lot of people actually plan on ordering from them after my interaction. I see a lot of potential with them as well, like people just getting new into the fight stick community and at least letting people test out or experiment.
Yeah.
In Guilty Gear, I got mopped.
I mean, Strive was stacked.
Yeah. Well, I wouldn't want to say I got mopped, but I had to go against Ichi. I 3-1'd him. I went against MFCR, got 3-0'd. Went up against Nightbreed. I took him out 3-0. And then I lost to Master Raven. I think I got 25th place. I'll take that. That's the first Fighter Fest I didn't go 0-2 in.
Yeah, like, and speaking of Nightbreed, I felt so bad that I wish I saw this sooner, but we were so caught up in just like, yo, we need to be done with this tournament. We need to, speed up the process and whatnot, because winners round one, Nightbreed versus Jin. I was like, oh god damn it.
It's gonna be a slow, painful match. Like it.
I understand. I understand. I 100% understand the frustration that they have now. Is like I can kind of understand from the Smash perspective how you get tired of fighting the same person in like the very first round over and over and over again. Like I get it now,
Yes.
because on a local level, you may not sweat it too much, but on a regional level, it's just like, I don't want to fight this person. I want to fight at least someone new, because there's like a lot of new faces here. So that's one of the things where the next Fighter Fest, I'm going to make sure that, hey, if y'all have fought each other a lot on a local level, then I'm going to try my best to make sure that on a regional scale,
It's at least dispersed.
yeah, disperse y'all, just like move y'all around and whatnot, so that way you're not fighting someone that you are so used to fighting locally round one. Local level, it's like, it's whatever. But on a regional level, especially if there's like a lot of people and it's stacked, then not to put them together. So that's something I'm gonna work on, because
Yeah, I think I made that man convert to Street Fighter immediately. I felt so bad. Yeah, he's done with Strive after, I think CEO, or I think before CEO, one of us two.
no, because remember, probably after CEO, because Street Fighter 6 comes out before Street Fighter 6 come out before CEO.
Yeah, I gotta check see what he signed up on. Something to do. Then definitely shout out to Herbs for being a TO and also competing. I cracked up with that Gil matchup. Like he knew what was gonna happen, so he just starts screaming like random thing like shimmy and doesn't get shimmied. But like Herbs is so extra. I love that man to death. I'm glad he's a captain of mine and like a good friend, but because watching the Hitachi versus Marvella match was the craziest thing. Because the fact that a whiff punished a Marvello, I see Herb so ticked off. He's just like, this is so ass. And like, so many people surrounded looking at him, and I'm here crying of laughter. I had to reenact that, so at least it demonstrates.
I mean, Strive does that. Strive does that to people, where from a spectating point of view or whatnot, you're just like, what in the hell? Like, how did that happen?
Because the matchup is so freaking broken. Well, Nagu, like this is coming from a high tier character list. I don't even consider my high tier anymore.
But yeah, that Saturday was just a great time.
It definitely was. I love how we were there till like 2 a.m.
Yeah,
I was dying of exhaustion.
Yeah, and I would say like once it got to like 1, I was like, yo, we got to start packing up most of this stuff.
Panicking.
And I'm just like, yo, if y'all not doing anything, just pack up these monitors, pack up these scores and whatnot, because 2:00 we needed to be gone out the door. And I wanted to be done with the tournament to at least by midnight or at least close to 1. So
that was a hard thing on midnight.
Yeah.
Because of 81 people.
Yeah. Like as I said, I was not really expecting that many people to, come through and whatnot. Like I wasn't. We were more prepared for Smash for 160 players than we were for Strive. Like, we made sure that we had everything that we needed for Smash and whatnot, just in case we would have a big enough turnout. Even if it didn't hit 160, if it hit like anywhere close to it or at least 100, we had everything ready to do it, because we started Smash at 4.
Shoot, I even left my Switch with you guys. That's how I know I was ready.
Yeah, like we wanted to be 100% ready for it, and what ended up happening was we had 55 players for Smash, 81 for Strive. So Strive ended up outdoing Smash
for the first time in a while.
Yeah,
I've never seen that happen.
Yeah, never. Because every Fighter Fest, Smash is usually the one that's like the top fighter that has the most amount of entrants. So of course they're gonna, get the special treatment of, all right, you're gonna start a little bit early. You're also gonna get your own stream set up, so that way it's not gonna be in line with the other games. Because imagine having Smash along with the one setup where Strive is at, whatnot. Like, yeah, we would.
They'd be mixed, and it wouldn't be getting enough tension.
Yeah, exactly. So,
Watching the Twitch views on the Fighter Fest, 2,000 views. That's shocking.
that's insane.
I know, because usually right now in the locals, watching Flynn's, it's usually like 30, 40 people, sometimes even 100, depending on who's there. Mm-hmm. And that's just on a regular Sunday.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, what's up, Ripper? This is my Michigan homie, actually.
Welcome.
I do be making friends online. But yeah, Fighter Fest was purely chaos. I loved it.
Yeah, so that was like probably the main reason why we have not been doing podcast episodes. Well, for me, most importantly, is simply due to the fact that I was just getting myself ready for the event, emailing people, calling people, checking with our sponsors, meeting with Eddie and Chris about everything involved in Fighter Fest, like having meetings with them over the phone or probably on Google Meet or Discord or whatnot. Just
Like, you were prepped for this within a span of 4 months.
yeah.
I was watching this. I was involved in some of the meetings as well because I covered for Herbs. I still found this hilarious.
Ripper, thank you for the subscription. Hold on, let me see if I got that right button. Appreciate that.
That's actually cool. I didn't know you. Actually, I forgot you had that button.
Yeah, I do.
I need that.
Appreciate the subscribe.
I need
Thank
that.
you for supporting the podcast. Greatly appreciate you. But yeah, like if Fighter Fest 5, it was definitely an event you had to be there for because there was a lot of things going on, a lot of games, a lot of matches, and a lot of people showed up and whatnot.
Yeah, even it was cool seeing like cosplayers actually show up to a free event and coming side to venue from 1 AC to some good boba, and 3 like they can actually play some games.
Yeah.
I was watching people playing KOF for the first time. I didn't even know that played KOF.
Yeah.
Definitely respect it. I'm looking forward for next year's.
Yeah, I think next year Fighter Fest, I think if we were to do it at another venue, we'll just keep everything inside.
Honestly, that's perfectly fine as long as you can like plan it out.
But we would have to be planned very carefully on,
Yes.
Where things are going to go and whatnot. Because I know with the cosplay community,
They'll flood it first.
no, I wouldn't say like they'll flood the setups or whatnot. Like, of course, it's gonna be first come first serve. But I would say that they don't know the
Etiquette.
Yeah, they don't know the etiquette of being at an FGC event.
It's completely different from a convention. Well,
Yeah.
not really different. Maybe a few things here and there.
That's why at conventions, that if I'm able to do tournaments, I at least give people like the basics of, okay, this is how, what it's like to be in a competitive environment. Granted, I always do them single elimination because people are not going to stay if they get knocked in losers. They're going to be like, I'm out.
Yeah,
They're not going to stay.
Like Otaku Fest was a prime example of FGC etiquette.
Yeah. And I wanted to make it as basic, as simple as possible so that way people would understand it. And if they enjoyed their experience, okay, come out to the locals, come to Flynn's, and you get to get the full experience. And then of course with Fighter Fest, you also get not only the full experience, but more of a grand experience because now you experience the tournament at a regional level. Now above that is major level.
Ooh, definitely agreeing with Ripper on this one.
So that said, I mean, I just wanted to make sure for Fighter Fest 5, everyone had a really good time, a really good experience, and that I've definitely learned a lot, and I'm still learning a lot more from everything. And I took in my notes. I would go over my notes. I'd also check the feedback form that people submitted and filled out and submitted, and just going over everything, making sure that the next time that I do this, not only I'm going to be 100% prepared, but we'll make sure that everything goes as smoothly and we don't encounter the same mistakes that we did with the first Fighter Fest. And I think one being that all the setups that we would bring and have, I would make sure that they would all have all the games inside so that way we're not like constantly swapping out on PS4s or whatnot. Now, granted, if a PS4 does not work or it ends up getting corrupted, like one of ours got corrupted for Strive, then okay, swap that one out. But yeah,
that's a first actually.
yeah. But with new upcoming fighters, some of them being on next gen only, I think that would give us more than enough time to acquire more of those setups to where we have enough to do it on a regional level. We'll still have our PS4s for games that are like on PS4 and whatnot.
Red, blue and such. But speaking of prepped, were you ready for that Jersey incident?
I was not.
Yeah, like Soto and I planned this out along with Herbs, Leva, and such. And certain days when you weren't around, we TO'd. We just grabbed a bunch of people. Like, I was one of the first people to sign. Lucas was as well. Then you had Soto, you had Herbs and I. Like, we just pulled everyone to the side while you were TOing. We, like, planned this out so quickly on the spot. We were trying to get you a glass frame, but we were too late on that one.
That's fine. I would have to find one. I have to find one to frame it.
It was just like one of the coolest moments because I wasn't even suspecting Soto actually executing this immediately before Strive. But I mean, that's the only right way to do it because you had a big crowd. You were in the middle of speaking. You had Soto volunteer to speak up for you because I know your voice was a little hurting. And like, that's the smartest execution. I love that man sometimes.
Yeah, because when I looked at the jersey and I looked at all the names on it and whatnot, like, let me put this on me. Like when I looked at the jersey and I saw all the names, I'm reading all the names and whatnot, and there were also names that were not at the event, but I saw their names there. Like I saw MBK, he signed a jersey. Oddity signed a jersey. Gandito signed a jersey. Zeno Ame signed a jersey. Those people that were not at Fighter Fest that signed a jersey. So I'm like, how long did y'all?
Less than a month.
Jesus.
This like the plan was executed 2 months ago. We were waiting for his shirt to get ordered, and then that's where he started his move.
Okay.
So he asked me as one of the first few people to sign it. So I immediately go left side. I put Waluigi and I put AJ on my initials. I'm like, I've never done an autograph in my gamer tag, so I might as well just use my initials.
And I also noticed that there was no one from the Smash community that signed the jersey.
Yeah, we did not go after him. We're introverts with him. You know how it is.
Yeah.
Which was kind of awkward now that I realize that, but I'm like, we definitely love you as a Strive TO and everything else.
Yeah. Because I was like, there was a lot of names on there, and I'm just like, wow. Like, even when I went, like when I got the jersey and I saw all the names, I'm like still taking it in and whatnot. I'm still, I'm still processing the moment. And then the day after Fighter Fest, I look at the jersey and I'm going through all the names of all the people, and I'm just like, wow. Like, wow.
Yeah, that was just like one of the coolest moments. Like, I've known this man for almost 3-4 years, since 2019. I've not seen him shed a tear in my lifetime.
Yeah, because I'm a heartless motherfucker. That's why.
That is true. But yeah, we get along because we're two different energies. That's not important. But just watching him cry for the first time, I'm like, wow. Like, me and Herbs were looking at each other, and we're just like, what the heck is going on? I'm like, is this man alive? Because we've known you for so long. I'm like, wow, this actually hit a spot.
It definitely did. It definitely showed that I am very, very appreciated in
Good.
the SF, the South Florida FGC community and whatnot, and I'm thankful for that. And yeah, and I can look back at the photos. I can remember the moment. Watching people, recording it and whatnot from like Marvel's perspective or Melo's perspective, and of course your perspective. I'm just like, damn, I can't believe that actually happened. And I take it in, man.
No, speaking of the devil.
Yeah, Sothu's in the chat. Appreciate you, bro. I greatly do, and it was just like, yeah.
Yeah, having people cheer your name is actually pretty cool.
Yeah. And the fact that like I was not expecting this because when it comes to doing all of this or whatnot, it's like a passion project for me, and I'm not expecting to be the guy to make like lots of money out of this or whatnot, or the case or whatnot. Like, oh, he's doing it, I'm doing it for profit. And like, no, I do it because I enjoy doing it, and I get a sense of fulfillment out of it. So the fact that, you know, I'm a part of a community that actually shows appreciation. Granted, the people who have, you know, been there from the very beginning know the kind of person that I am, and they know that I'm capable of, you know, running things solo, because I've done it by myself for a while, that I've become so effective at it that the people around me will tell you that I rarely ask for help.
Yeah,
unless I'm like completely swamped, because it's more of like a pride thing for me to where I know what it takes to continue to go that extra step, to go that extra mile, because I know what I'm capable of. And it's like, for me, other people may not be like, other people are not like built like me to the point where I don't see them going the extra mile, nor do I expect them to. I don't expect them to, you know, follow my footsteps or, you know, do the things how I do it or whatnot. I know what I can do, and I know how I can be effective at it. And if I fail, I learn from my mistake, and I just continue to keep pressing forward.
Adaptability at its finest.
Yeah, I learn how to adapt and overcome very, very quickly. And, you know, you can, you know, relate that to, for me, you know, me being, you know, being in the military or whatnot, and, you know, that kind of discipline and, you know, learning that from that experience, I bring it to the FGC crowd, and people see that I am very effective at what I do. I can, you know, take charge. I can do all these other things to where it's like I'm capable of, you know, running it on my own. Granted, I suck at commentary, but I'll try.
That's why we got a few of us doing it.
Yeah.
Yeah, the method of having Flynn's, or like having the local competitors commentate in their own perspective, it's good practice as well.
Yeah, that's why I, you know, selected the people that want to do commentary.
That, or I just jump in.
You know, yeah, that too. And
I'll take someone hostage if I have to, because I hate doing it alone.
And I'll even say this, like the next Fighter Fest stuff, people that, you know, got the positions of, you know, doing commentary for Fighter Fest for certain games, they're gonna have preference for the next one. There's a reason why I put out the application, because I wanted to see who was going to apply, who's going to sign up for it. Because now, the next Fighter Fest, I'm going to make sure that I take care of the commentators as well. I'm going to make sure that, hey, they're going to get in at a much lower price than everyone else, because they're the ones that sat down for hours at a time commentating the whole thing, doing it very professionally. Because throughout, I would say like last week, I listened to all of the commentary for most of the games. Like Dragon Ball, I listened to the commentary. Strive, I listened to the commentary. Even Smash, because I feel that if you're gonna commentate and you know how to entertain the crowd, you also, you know, keep people informed, and you can do that for hours at a time, to the point where I don't even have to watch it. I could just
skim through.
Not even skim through. Like, I don't have to watch it, and I can know what's going on just by you explaining it. That alone is good. That's really, really good.
Oh, that's 100% good.
Like, good example. When I went to, I think I went to Tampa for an event with my fiance and whatnot, and on the way driving back, I think I was like, I was like in the Twitch chat, telling y'all, you know, what to do or whatnot.
That was hilarious.
Yeah. I'm driving back, man. Granted, I'm not watching the match, but I'm hearing it, and I hear Beefy on the commentary. I hear Jin on the commentary, you, Herbs. So I'm just like, I can know what's going on in the match without having to watch it.
Yeah,
that is good commentary.
I think I told somebody this. Someone who actually wanted to learn how to commentate with me.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, it's just stating the obvious and making it fun.
Yeah.
Because I kind of mimic it like the old like 1960s baseball and such, or like when people didn't have a TV, they listened to the radio. I'm just like,
yeah, exactly.
That's like what inspired me to commentate.
Yeah.
I'm like, wow, people can listen to my voice and just be like, what the hell is going on?
Like, if you can commentate and, tell the people who are listening what's going on and make it very entertaining and engaging, then to me, you're a solid commentator.
Oh,
You are solid.
I still have some work to do, but I kind of enjoy it in the meantime. Because I did it for Juicy's as well at one point. Which was actually pretty fun. Alex just let me straight up. I didn't have to sign up. Shout out to him.
Yeah, definitely.
Man, there's so much going on. Like, I went to Juicy game nights in the month of April. That was pure chaos.
How so?
Oh no, the fact that I worked like an 8-hour shift, I was up till 6. No, I woke up at 5:45. Went to work. Heard Butters had a car issue, and he was in Fort Pierce. He duct taped his car because his coolant reservoir broke. So we were worried about him. His phone is dead.
Oh God.
And me, Herbs, and Fourface are on our way up, and I have him drive my car because I'm purely in exhaustion.
Right.
Like I was drained throughout the whole event, and what was the funniest thing is we see Butters running to the freaking venue just to sign up because he was last minute and his phone's dead and everything else, so he had to charge at the venue. And it was killer, like watching Saki play, watching everyone else play. Cool venue. Like Alex knows how to run nicely. Seeing the commentators have their own professional like little booth with a nice ring light and such. Then Butters going for top 8 was the funniest thing. Because he climbed up, he lost a Fourface Buttons first round and then climbed his way back up to top 8.
The man's cracked.
Yes, he is. All on a PS4 Last of Us controller. And lost a Fourface again.
Damn.
Within that time span, I was just exhausted because I've been up for almost 20 hours straight. I took out 2 players and then I lost to Punk, which that was a good feeling when Butters took him out. I'm not going to lie. And then watching the other guy take him out too in tournament, I think his name was A.B. Wyatt, Giovanna Main, not important. And then I lost to the Texas Hammer, which is a good ship main. It was kind of like close calls and certain things. I still got to work on frame data, but it was just purely entertainment. And the fact that I dabbled into a TCG recently.
Nice.
Yeah, it's a gambling addiction. Don't do it. I ended up selling like 4 cards for $120.
Hey, that's
I'm
good.
like, I might not be a winner, but I won winner's money. I ended up in like, out of 60 people, I got like 17th.
Nice.
Yeah, watching my FGC progress is just like crazy. Because I remember I was just doing a podcast, I want to promote and everything else. I'm glad Ripper understands. But yeah, I think that's one of the biggest things I've done in a month before Fighter Fest. And I love how I stood at Fighter Fest till 2 a.m. I was purely in like sheer exhaustion because it was my 27th birthday. I'm just like, I'm watching a godlike match, helping you clean up, then putting my stuff in my car, putting the PS4s, and then I end up at an IHOP till like 3 a.m. with some of the CFL guys. I'm being dead serious. I think it was Lavender, S. Cambolini. Then we had another guy named Sid, who was a May main, Fourface Buttons, Arms, Nightbreed, and then we had MFCR. We were all just chilling at IHOP at 3 a.m.
Sounds about right. Sounds about right.
I got so exhausted. I'm like, I'm glad we did not do a podcast on Sunday. I'm not going to lie to you. I got home at 5 a.m.
I got home at 3 because
Oh, my bad. Sorry, I slipped.
I got home at 3 because I was like, I am not gonna go to the arcade, drop all this stuff off. I was like, I'll do it Sunday in the afternoon or towards the evening, which I did. And we had Daniel that won photos, Z Guy and Coelia. We had them, we had them to bring back some of the stuff from the venue and whatnot because our vehicles were packed full with all the stuff. So we needed some extra help to
Definitely shout out to Christian.
to bring some of the stuff back to the arcade and whatnot, safe and sound. And that Sunday I remember going to bed at 3 and I did not wake up until like 1 in the afternoon.
I woke up at like 10 a.m. I had 5 hours of sleep because I ended up walking my dog and I passed out.
Yeah, like that Sunday, I was like dead asleep for like
That was
majority
one of
of
the
it.
most peaceful Sundays I had in a while.
And I was just like, that just happened. that just happened. And granted, even though I'm resting on that Sunday, I'm just like, and I'm just going through all the, photos, videos, tweets, and whatnot of the event. I was like, I'm glad everyone had a good time. I'm glad, we were able to give everyone a great experience, a great regional tournament experience here in South Florida, because
yeah.
it hasn't been done before.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever seen one in South Florida specifically.
No, it has. For as long as I've been in South Florida, granted, there's special events, invitationals of that matter, but never something too as big as a regional where you're getting people from other regions of Florida to drive down for a tournament and whatnot.
That's a level of commitment I respect.
Yeah, and that was one of my goals that I wanted to do for this year was, make Fighter Fest a regional, give everyone a great regional tournament experience. Even though I know nothing about that, but I think when I went to Juicy's back in November.
Oh yeah, when we went, you were with my crew.
Mm-hmm.
Your Nike addiction when it began. I do not forget these things.
Yeah. Yeah, and just learn from Alexander and how he ran things. So I just took my notes, and I was like, okay, I'll apply them for the next Fighter Fest. Came up with the idea, passed it to Eddie about how about we make the next Fighter Fest at another venue, and decided our venue search. Finally found one, the Urban League, and yeah, then that happened. I'm still to this day, I'm still blown away at the fact that happened. And yesterday I tweeted out, man, this was literally last week.
Yeah, literally. You had some great pictures. Definitely shout out to About One Photography, Dark Ice, and whoever else was there.
Yeah, we also had a couple of photographers there, but I think they were more for the outside event and whatnot.
Yeah, that's true.
Which I'm just like, cool, but no shade. I was like, I'm not going to be outside majority of the time. My job is typically inside. So
do you know how lucky I am sometimes? I went to the venue outside that sold One Piece cards. I bought $40 or 5 packs for $40. I ended up winning the alternate art super rares, and I ended up getting my money back. Some people were pissed that the fact I just grabbed 5 random packs and I just left in it. I'm like, damn. I'm already getting top tier team payout without spending too much. I'm trying to think of what else has happened. Oh yeah, I finally took out one of my bracket demons for the first time in a year.
What was that?
Turb.
Turb?
Do you not remember what I did the first round of the second round of the first match, where I threw him 6 times in a row?
Oh yeah, I remember that.
I just forgot what to do. I'm like,
I think that was that was the Sunday of the week of Fighter Fest. Yeah.
Yes, I identified as a grappler temporarily. Not my proudest thing to say, but but just throwing, just tick throw, tech throw, sword toss, tech throw, another tech throw. I see him doing a mega fist in fear, and I just far slash, and I forgot the super. And I'm laughing because he beat RCs and does his far slash or his this way. I just BRC super. I watched a pro player named Zondo do this to somebody. I'm like, if he could do it, I could do it too. Because I heard Herb screaming in the corner, dapping me up, and it actually hurt my hand. I feel like that was the most disrespectful thing I did to anybody. But overall, it's good to watch a lot of my progress go on as I'm having fun with you guys, the FGC, even just having a podcast, doing a lot, having a lot of hobbies, a work style. Definitely showing up for me. Oh, thank you, Soto. We'll definitely do it at CE. Wait, that's a month after. You know what? I'll take it.
Yeah, CEO Zone next month, towards the end.
You ready for it? Because I sure as hell not.
I am, but I'm not ready for the fact that I have to do CEO, and then the week after I have to do Florida SuperCon.
Oh yeah, I know. I gave Herbs
back to back.
I gave Herbs that friendly reminder that we're doing that. I'm involved in this too, sadly.
And I'm just like, it's gonna be rough, but it's gonna be fun.
It's gonna be a lot of fun, just because one CEO, you're gonna have the HGC Island crew, you're gonna have the Flynn's crew. There's a lot of crews. You're obviously my roommates, and then there's more people. And then I think Herbs is planning more stuff. I don't know what yet.
Yeah.
And then you convinced us to enter the TCG tournament for One Piece. I want that money. Just so I could rinse and repeat.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, plus I have a lot of friends from like outside of Ireland that plan on joining.
That's good.
For those that are like going to CEO, message us. We're always happy to hang out. Unless we're in tournament, but that's a whole different phase.
Yeah.
I signed up for Street Fighter 6 and I haven't played much of the demo.
Hey, there's no time like the present to, get familiar with it.
That's true. I need a break from Strive. It's brain damage.
Everyone says that. Everyone says that. Oh, man.
What else is new with you besides Fighter Fest?
I stepped down as a TO for Smash.
Oh, congrats.
Congrats.
I mean, you've told me stories. I've seen some things. I've read a lot of tweets. So, I mean, it's a mental break for you.
It is.
That's 100% a mental break, and that's good. You have reliable people such as Sabrick and Lizard King. Like, that could be a TO. You're able to spend your Saturday in peace.
Yeah.
Or cause more problems. One of those two.
Nah, it's just going to be more peaceful. And
Yeah, I know.
more peaceful, and then, well, I might as well just get into it or whatnot. Because,
why not? We might as well.
Yeah, I might as well get into it. So, granted, on Twitter, because I did say that I will discuss my frustrations and whatnot when doing Smash and whatnot, and still to this day, I'm leaving on a good note. I'd rather leave on a good note than on a bad note, be all negative, and just because I can easily,
100%.
like I could easily, but what led me to this decision, of course there's some personal reasons as to why, but it's not more so of the community, it's just more so of just me, because like I have some personal stuff I gotta handle. So it's just like one of those things where it's just like on Saturdays I'm gonna have to take on Saturdays I just like I've done it for a while and I'm comfortable letting someone else do it, to the point where I don't need to oversee everything for Smash other than on the more logistical or technical level, like stream setup, acquiring more setups, monitors, whatever. That is the only time I will continue to support Smash. It's just on that level. But everything else, creative-wise, tournament-wise, I'm out. I'm done.
Good.
I'm done because mentally it was just like I got to a point where just like I'm mentally tired of this. And granted, there is people that do appreciate what I've done, from when running tournaments, when it was inside of Flynn's, when we had about maybe 6 to 8 people for Smash. Then it grew to the point where we had to run tournaments outside of the arcade, and that grew to about 20 to 30. And now we bring it in here. That number goes up to 30, 40, 50, 60, and whatnot. And, man, where? Trying to find words to properly say this, but I enjoyed it. I had a lot of good time doing it. I had a lot of fun doing it, and there were moments where like I would have like disconnections. Like I don't feel connected with that community. For as long as I've been running it, I don't feel connected, because what I've come to notice and realize is like the community is very clique-ish based, and during that time period, it was like people within the community who have been in the community for a long time will always harken back to versus, and it was just like, y'all are holding me to a standard, to what a venue that used to exist to be and whatnot. And
right.
And it's like, I've been to Versus before, not as often, but I've been there before, and it's like Versus and Flynn's are completely different.
It's a night and day difference.
It's two completely different venues, and they both run differently from each other. You know, there's similarities, but they're unique. And holding myself as the CEO to a standard, like I need to live up to that standard, is just like, for me, it's like, it's not realistic to me. If anything, I can just, do the basics, not just the bare minimum. I mean, the bare minimum is very easy, but not just like do all these great and grandiose things that Versus used to do for the Smash community. It's like, I can't live up to that. And it's like, to hold TOs who are new to the scene that want to be a part of the Smash community, to hold them to that standard is very unrealistic, because you don't know what they're capable of doing financially. Most of the stuff that the Smash community would want is like, it's not financially, it doesn't make sense financially, because like I see the logic, I see the reasoning behind it, but it's just not possible.
It's money. It's simply money.
Yeah, it's simply money. Like, you want these, it's like you want a really great tournament experience on a more local level, but financially, when it comes to everything in here for Flynn's and whatnot, it's just like, bro, it's not possible. It's just not. And it's not the fact that I don't want to do it. It's just the fact that it just does not make sense, because at times the community can be inconsistent. Well, where they'll show up a lot in the beginning, and then
They'll just
months down the line, it'll start to dissipate. So it's just like, it's not sustainable. So if it's not going to be that sustainable, then it's just like, I'd rather not put that much investment in. I would not invest so much financially into that if I don't see it being, if it doesn't make sense for the long run. Now, for one-off event or special event, cool, yeah. But just like the longevity of that, to give you that same experience on a weekly basis, it's like, bro,
that's taxing.
Yeah, it's taxing, yes, because it's like, there's a lot on me that I would have to do to live up to that expectation. And I remember, several months back, almost a year back, where I'm just like, y'all want a major tournament level experience on a local level, but y'all don't understand how much money goes into a major level experience. Hell, even on the regional level experience, as I've come to learn, this shit is expensive.
Yes, it is.
It is expensive.
It's terrifying just imagining the prices of resources and such.
Like, resources are not cheap.
No, they are not.
Consoles are not cheap. Monitors are not cheap. I would have to scavenge and scour. And what makes my situation unique as a Smash TO is the fact that I also have other communities that I also need to cater to as well. Because there's the Strive community, there's the Tekken community, there's the Grand Blue community. I have to cater to them as well. So I have to make sure that I have PS4s, I have all the DLC for all these other games that I'm running tournaments on, and do stuff for y'all. So I'm in a pickle. I'm in a struggle to trying to, satisfy one community and then keep the other one satisfied, to the point where it's like, I'm not neglecting them for y'all, or vice versa. It was a tough, constant struggle for me, doing Smash and then of course doing all of FGC, because it's just like, you're trying to cater to two communities, you're trying to grow both communities, but it's just like, it was mentally taxing on me. And financially taxing on me on top of that as well, because the fact that I'm not getting paid to do this. From the very beginning and up until now, and I've told this to, a couple of people and whatnot, I put in 5 G's into doing this.
Yeah.
5
definitely.
G's. Now, I will say, and I will disclose this, I can't disclose everything, but I will disclose that I have started making my money back.
Good.
So from 5 G's, I would say I'm now down to probably about 4,200.
Good. That's
so
nice.
I've made my progress, but it's slow, And that's because I have, a lot of, faith in what I'm doing. I have to also spend smartly. I have to also make sure that what I put out, eventually I know I'm going to get, a good portion or some of that portion back in return. So that way I can reinvest it right back in. Like if I had, like, if I were to make any money, let's just say I make a huge killing off of, Fighter Fest 6, 7, 8 or whatnot. I would not spend that money on myself because I would put it right back into the community. Like, okay, what do I need?
It's a rinse and repeat.
Yeah, because I have to keep this sustained for a longer period of time. So it's not like if I were to spend the money on myself, then Flynn's would not be like the tournament experience at Flynn's would not be where it's at. It would not be to the level where it's at now. If I were to just get the money from the tournaments, spend it on myself, do whatever I want, it would not be to where it's at now because I always reinvested the money right back into the community. Like, I'm not going to take a dime off of it or whatnot because I believe in sustaining this for a much longer period of time. So that way I can keep this going for months and months and months and months. And up until a point, it's a year, I'm still keeping this going. And little by little, you'll start to see some new things, pop up every now and then. Like, look at the wall setup over there. That is new.
That is.
Eventually, all the stuff in the back in that back area over there, and with the sticker printer or whatnot, that is going to end up eventually go away. And we're gonna push more of the tournament stuff towards that back end, so that way there's even more room. I plan to also get 2 extra stream setups. Or at least in area to where we could have 2 additional stream setups. So that way we can have 3 streams. And if we have 3 stream setups, guess what that means? I could run more games. I can cater to more other different unique communities. And once we get to that level and Flynn's decides to expand, which they do have plans to expand, then we could look into PC gaming. But everything is a progression, and as I'm learning this, it's like you don't want to just go all out all at once. You want to take your time because you go all out at once, and you're not taking the time to cultivate and build and properly save your money. Invest it smartly so that way you have something that can sustain you for a longer period of time. You eventually burn out. You eventually not looking at the road down ahead, like you don't see the end. And then once you reach that end, then I'm like, all right, I've reached this point. What's my next goal? Like I did Fighter Fest 5 this year. My next goal to make sure that Fighter Fest 6 is even more successful. Fighter Fest 6 will have, hopefully, most likely at that point, more PS5s than PS4s. So that way we can run them on PS5. And on top of that, make sure that we have all games on all of our consoles. We'll have more monitors. I also plan to update all of the monitors in Flynn's for PS5 games, since there's going to be certain games that's going to run on 120. I want to make sure we take advantage of that. So eventually you'll start seeing new monitors being updated or swapped out. I'll still keep everything because they're good monitors,
yes,
solid monitors, but eventually I'm going to get newer ones. So that way we're able to take advantage of the 120 hertz mode. But everything is progress. And as I'm, learning this with, Smash or whatnot, and, you have people within that community, like you can try your best to, accommodate them, and they'll still shit on you.
No, they'll find a way to complain.
Yeah, they'll find a way to complain and whatnot. And something that, like my pet peeve with them complaining is, they'll go to social media to complain, but they won't come to you directly and tell you about it.
Yeah.
I hated that, because now you're putting out there to the public that, oh, this is a shitty venue. Meanwhile, you have a TO that's trying his best to accommodate the needs for the community and give y'all the best experience that he or she could possibly give y'all. And to me, it's like, it's not fair. And as I'm realizing this and I'm going through this, you know, constantly over and over again, mind you, this is before when I had that bad Amarath take on Twitter. This is before.
Oh, yeah.
This is well before that. And I'm just like, I'm trying my best. And, you know, week in and week out, I'm trying to make it work with this community. But it's just like, I'm getting annoyed with this shit. And, you know, when I have, you know, like Lizard King, you know, take over for Saturdays and whatnot, to me, it was just like, it was like a breath of fresh air. It's like, I get off work, I can go straight home and not have to come to the arcade. Like, when it got to that point, I'm just like, this feels good. This feels really, really good to just be like, I can relax, I can chill, and
you definitely seem more relaxed. I can say that.
And I don't have to be like, now I gotta go do Smash. When I do Strive, it's just like, all right, I got energy for Strive. I know tonight's gonna be good. I want to see who's gonna show up. It's gonna be a good time. All the usual people are gonna come out. It's gonna be a good time. I'm excited for Sundays. Sundays I get excited for. Fridays, depending on the game.
My group chat's always excited for Sundays. Like, I have like a West Palm Beach group chat / Illuminati. It's the funniest thing.
Yeah, and like Fridays, you know, it dabbles here and there and whatnot, but like, yeah, that's how my mood was for like Saturdays. Was just like, I was like out.
You were dreading.
Yeah, dreading it. And all the other days, it's just like, all right, I'm excited. I got energy for it. Let's do it. I'm ready.
Yeah, everything else is bonus, but Smash, I knew it like drained you. Even seeing on Sundays or another episode, you're just like, oh shit. Like, you definitely seem more refreshed than usual, and that's good.
Yeah, and you know, as I said before, I don't want to use this as an opportunity to shit on the Smash community. No. I'm not shitting on them at all, because despite my frustrations with the community from time to time, there's still a lot of good people within the community. And yeah, I am going to miss them. Because the fact that I'm not going to be TOing, I'm just going to completely remove myself from Smash altogether, because it's just like, I need that mental break.
You do.
I need that mental break. Granted, I will still run Smash tournaments at conventions. Florida SuperCon, I'll still run it. Otaku Fest, I'll still run it. Maybe Anime EY, if they want us to run tournaments or whatnot. I don't know, but I'll still run Smash tournaments at conventions. But as far as at Flynn's, I'm done. I'm out completely.
Good.
And that's why I'm giving Lizard King and Saybreak 100% free control to do Smash the way that they would want. So it's like, my era is done. And do I see myself ever coming back? No, I'm not coming back. Granted, I am going to miss a lot of people within that community, because as I said before, there are still a lot of good people within the Smash community. Despite my frustrations with that community, there's still a lot of good people. And I don't want to overlook that. Smash is still in a good place, but you just have that click mentality of that, you know, if your venue is not versus or gives us that versus-esque vibe feel, then it's just like, well, you're just another venue that just run tournaments. There's nothing really special. And you can see that with the community. You can definitely see that with the community, especially on social media, because for me, I watch their behavior offline and online, and it's clear as day. They'll deny it, but it's just like, nah, it's clearly there. And it sucks, because I remember back when before the whole NATO situation, I'm not going to speak on that, but with at Bula Smash up in Boynton and whatnot. And I remember the TO, PGW Phoenix. He was trying his best, And you had some people within the Smash community, like, giving him a hard time. Tournaments take too long. There's not enough setups and whatnot.
You had people just complaining over.
Yeah, people complaining, and it's like y'all don't even go to him. Y'all will vent on social media, but y'all don't even go to him through his DMs, which is open, or through Discord, which is open, to talk to him about some of these things that you're having problems with. Like, you have to voice it on social media and then give the impression that, oh, this venue is ass, this venue is shit, the TO sucks. Granted, yeah, you're voicing your frustrations, but other people could look at it as, well, I don't have to go to that venue,
which is unacceptable behavior.
Yeah, it's like, there are, like, I can count on both my hands of the amount of people that have come to me about issues, about Flynn's, and, like, ways on, doing it better and whatnot. I can only count on my two hands of the people that came to me. While everyone else, they complain on social media and, make us TOs look bad. And now we have to work even harder to try to fix the situation, correct it, and earn the community's trust. And I felt like, for me, I was working my ass off to regain that trust, to, gain that favor, or to a certain extent, gain their acceptance, Like, hey, I am a part of this community. I want to be, treated, same as everybody else. I don't like the fact that y'all go on social media and y'all say these things about the venue and whatnot, when it's like, sometimes there are some things that are like, it's out of my control. Like, if they're like, a good example, on Saturdays when the Smash players are here, Eddie does not want them to bring outside food, because when they bring outside food, that thing that they'll do is they don't throw it away. They leave it on the tables.
Yeah, it's disrespectful.
Yeah, it's like, don't trash the venue. Like, respect the venue. Like, if they don't want outside food, respect it. Simple as that. Just respect the venue. Don't bring outside food if they don't want you to and whatnot. But, they still do it. And then they trash the place. Now, of course, you can ask, case by case. Like, I know with FGC, I know they don't bring a lot of outside food, but if they do, they always ask. They always ask the people up front. And same thing on Sundays. If y'all bring outside food, y'all ask, and then, of course, y'all throw it away. Y'all don't leave. Like, when we leave on Sundays, we make sure everything is clean. Like, everyone's, throwing out their cans, throwing out their bags of snacks or whatnot. Like, we're leaving this place clean. Like, and that's something that
it's simple matters that you got to respect the venue, you got to respect the people that work for the venue. Like, shoot, I'll even ask Lucas if he wants food.
Yeah.
I will literally say, like, even if I'm getting myself food, I want to make sure that the people up front are taken care of. I want to make sure you're alive at least.
Yeah. And for me, I was trying my hardest to gain that community's, acceptance for a while. And, just trying to be in good faith and good standing or whatnot. And I'm trying my hardest, and it's just like, I'm not connecting with I'm not connecting with this community. Maybe because it's an age difference, because I'm in my 30s and most of them are in their, early to mid 20s, some in their late teens or whatnot. Maybe because of there's that gap, that huge age gap.
Yes.
I'm not connecting with them. And the more that's becoming prevalent, that's where it's just like, I don't think I connect well with this community at all. And I'm trying my hardest to connect with them.
You definitely did. You put a lot of effort.
Yeah. And it's just like, even when you do all of that, it's like you're still not living up to the expectation of their former venue that they once had, and it sucks because it's like,
that's disappointing.
Yeah, because it's like, we're not versus, but at least appreciate us for what we're trying to do. At least show, like tell people that, hey, there's all these other great venues that have, different unique things. They may not be versus, but they all have their, their uniqueness that, attracts people to their, to the venue, to the place of business on a, weekly basis. I don't see that a lot with Smash players, and that's sad.
Yeah, like if I go to a venue, I'm at least telling my friends about it, telling my own family about it. Even if my family doesn't care, at least they know where I went and I had a good time or not.
And then on Twitter, when I had my bad MRF take, I think that's when it's like, okay, his credibility's here.
There.
And then it just completely dropped, and it's just like, now I got to work even 10 times harder to.
Yeah, you put yourself out that one.
Yeah. I have to work even 10 times harder to try to, gain their acceptance or whatnot. And it got to a point for me, like, I would say, if you could call it an epiphany or whatnot, but I just came to the realization that I'm not needed for this community. I'm not.
And that's perfectly okay.
I'm not needed for this community. I think I've done all that I've can. And I've done all that I can, and I think that me stepping down is the best thing for them, and it's also the best thing for me.
Agreed.
And me not wanting to like just completely remove myself altogether. Because granted, yeah, everything that's, up and still standing and whatnot, yeah, it's most of it, if not all of it, is all me. Bringing this all together, putting this all together or whatnot. It's all me. But for me, it was like I need to get away. I came to the point where it's like, I'm done. I want out. I don't belong in this community. And I think they will be completely and perfectly fine not having me in this community. And that's how I felt. Like I would say like January, February, and then halfway to March, I had that feeling like I'm not needed, I'm not wanted. It's a good time for me to, step down. And I was telling, Lizard King that. I told Aerodust that, privately.
You're telling us now.
Yeah, and now I'm telling everybody else.
Which is good. It's a good way to close, like closing remarks for your Smash TO journey, and you now can expand on more or self-improvement.
And I still have a little bit more to say about that.
Yeah, I know you do.
Yeah, and now that I'm like, you know what? I don't belong. I don't connect with this community. And I've tried. I've really, really tried. Have I fucked up? Absolutely. I own my mistakes. And I just keep pressing forward. I keep moving forward. And I try to do right. Not just by certain people, but I try to do right by everybody. I try to be fair towards everybody. And because if, someone fucked up at the venue or whatnot, and it's happened before, not often, but in the past where someone fucked up or whatnot, I would at least give them a second chance because I would want that in return. Like, let me have another chance to redeem myself, to prove myself. And and I tried that with the Smash community. I just felt like, nah.
Yeah, understood.
And it also made me realize that there's another community, the FGC community, that they gave me that second chance. It was like, bro, you're only human. You've tried your best. A lot of people that have talked to me about the Smash community and and shared me their thoughts, saying that, bro, I don't see how you deal with this shit on a weekly basis with the Smash community, because they see it on social media as well. They see it a lot too. So they see what I go through, and they hate seeing that. So,
oh yeah,
so it's like, granted, I'm not neglecting the FGC side. I'm not, neglecting them, but it just made me more prevalent that that's where I belong. That's where I need to go. And yeah. And I think at Fighter Fest, it was just like, I was not expecting that jersey, but that's the level of appreciation that they showed me. And now it's just like, I'm happy. I'm happy with the decision and leaving Smash in good hands. I know it's going to be well taken care of. I'm going to, keep things running here on Flynn's, keep things moving forward. Everything's going to, progress and get better. I have plans for the FGC community, in the coming months. Some, interesting and unique ideas that I feel like is going to bring the community together and, continue to keep growing. And as far as Smash is concerned, as I said, on a technical and logistical level, I will support them. But that is as far as I'm going to go. Community-related events, I'm not there because I don't belong. So that's where I'm at with Smash. As I said, it's in a good place right now. I'm leaving it in good hands. There's a lot of great opportunity for them to keep growing. A lot of great opportunity, and I still have will still continue the plan that I had earlier this year, that I still want to bring new people into the community.
Always.
Whether it's Smash or the FGC, I still have plans. That is still on my goals list for 2023. Is to continue to keep bringing new faces in the community, because that's what's going to keep it going. That's what's going to keep it thriving. More new faces means new competition. Also means new people getting good at the game, because people are tired of seeing the same old faces, making top 8. All right, do something about it.
Exactly.
If you're tired of seeing the same people, making top 8, do something about it. Commit to it. See what you're doing wrong, Don't ask for an easier path, or like, hey, I don't want to, fight, so-and-so person. You're going to have to challenge yourself, eventually, because that's the only way you're going to see growth. And I understand some people don't like to fight the same person over and over and over again. But, this is local. Everyone, eventually you get to play, most people at least once or twice, But if you're losing to the same person over and over and over and over again, then it's just like, you're not learning. At least take a game off of them. If you take a game off of them, then it's like, okay, I'm making some progress, because for me, as much as I love playing Grand Blue, I still get my ass kicked by Neokarsh, Danny Boy, Tony, Lord Crucius, now Miles, but I'm still playing. I
have a whole list of people that kick my ass.
Oh, and add 4-face buttons to the mix too. But at least I'm learning the matchup, and it keeps it interesting. The fact that you're, even though you're losing to the same person, but it's just like you're also trying to figure things out, because hey, sometimes it takes people a little bit longer to figure things out until they start really, really getting good. But
I think I'm a prime example, sadly, not to boast my own ego or anything, because literally I did not play fighting games at all until last year. I got picked up by the one Jacko guy. I got picked up into a team to become an artist, and I ended up becoming a competitor. That's still the funniest thing I think anyone could imagine. That someone that doesn't even play the character I do taught me exactly how to play and gave me ideas.
Yeah.
And now I'm in top 8 slightly casually, more casually than usual.
Yeah.
That's something I did not expect. I thought it was going to be next year by the time I get top 8s, but then I just see my progress. I'm like, what the hell? And then I have people afraid to go against me sometimes.
Hey, that happens.
Yeah, I'm not calling out anybody, but the really good players.
But yeah, man, it's like, for me, I realize I am very wanted and needed in the FGC community.
Hell yeah, you are.
And as far as Smash, I've realized that they don't need me, and I think, and they'll be all right. They're going to be more than fine without me there. So that also means all my creative ideas that I would want to try out and whatnot, well, it won't come to fruition, and that's about fine, and that's fine, you know, because I know I'm leaving things in Lizard King and Seabrick's hands, and I know Seabrick has great ideas that he wants to implement in the Smash community, so things are going to be very interesting in the next coming of months, and, you know, I'm going to do my best to help support them the best way I can.
Hell yeah.
And with the FGC side, you know, there's going to be more, you know, great things coming, you know, later down the line. And for one, I know that we're also having a Street Fighter 6 launch event. It's not going to be on the 2nd, on a Friday, unfortunately, because there's going to be a private event here at the arcade. But that Saturday over, it's going to happen. We'll have...
Check my calendar just so I can remind people.
We're going to have Street Fighter Third Strike. Dreadnought's going to bring his PCs for that. We'll have Ultra Street Fighter 4, Street Fighter 5, and Street Fighter 6.
That's crazy. Yeah, June 3rd, to be exact.
Yeah, June 3rd.
Is that the day that's released, or it's...
No, June 2nd is when it's released, but June 3rd is when we're going to have the actual event here.
The funniest thing is I think Dreadnought has a launch party, at least.
Yeah, he has it on the 2nd.
The day of.
Yeah.
So, if you're still looking for areas, there's one in West Palm Beach. Well, Boynton Beach, to be specific. And then the next day on the 3rd is going to be in here at Flynn's Gaming at Margate. It's going to be a lot of fun seeing the competition. I don't even know how to play Street Fighter well, but I'm just going to play it anyways. I'm playing blindly.
Hey, that's the best way you can do. Just play blindly until you figure it out. And yeah, with new fighting games coming down the road, you know, you have Street Fighter coming out really, really soon. Tekken 8, you know, on the way. Grand Blue Rising on the way, and, you know, a new Mortal Kombat on the way. So it's gonna be a great time, and I'm gonna make sure I have everything that I need to run these games. Of course, everything, you know, our goal is to have the next gen games to be run on PS5. That is our primary goal. We're not going to get PS4s unless it's gifted to us or whatnot. But the goal is PS5s, new monitors, and get enough to the point where when we do Fighter Fest, we have more than enough to run everything. And yeah, that's the goal from now up until next year. And if I were to say, okay, when are y'all going to plan the next Fighter Fest? I would say possibly either March 2024 or April 2024, which gives us more than enough time to logistically be prepared for this.
I swear, if it's on my birthday again, I'm gonna bring some like poppers, get excited. At least so people can be aware. I just did it so casually. And then people attacking me later.
And yes, I will still have Smash at Fighter Fest because it's been there from the very beginning. I will still have it.
Yeah, we know this already.
Yeah.
Smash is still a continuous thing, and I'm sure some people are going to bring some like side tournaments as well, like Melee.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Melee,
and, you know,
would Tekken 7 be a side tournament technically?
Say again?
Would Tekken 7 or be a side tournament or a main event? It depends if it's released or not.
If I know it's going to be released before like March, April 2024. I already know that. So Tekken 7 would not be. People could run it as a, you know, side.
I figured. I have
like if people want to run Tekken 7 at Fighter Fest 6 as a side tournament, fine, cool. But Tekken 8 is going to be like one of our main event games.
Noted.
Yeah. Because I'm like, that's the purpose of the Oasis, is just any other tournaments that are not featured on the main game roster, y'all can run and whatnot. And now that I think about it, because I know Melty Blood had a low turnout, I was like, because he only had 9 players, I was like, fuck. I should have swapped out Melty Blood for Plus R.
Ooh, that would have been crazy to watch.
Yeah, I should have swapped.
I think you can get at least like 10, 16 plus people.
No, I think Omega Tom Hanks had about 20.
I'm sorry, what?
Yeah.
Jeez. That would be fun to see.
Oh, yeah.
Because the old Plus R is broken. Like, you thought Strive was an issue. Like, Plus R was a whole different animal.
Oh, yeah.
Because I've watched the TODs. I was never the same.
Oh, yeah. I've seen them myself as well.
Yeah, I don't want to play Plus R. I'm too scared. That's coming from me. There are only 2 games I'll never touch. Plus R and Smash. All of them. I like my sanity, and I like the opportunity to get women without saying I play Smash. I can't forget the DGK situation where he brought his girl. Or somebody did. Who brought their girlfriend into a tournament and he got immediately like 3-0'd?
That was Balboa.
I am so sorry, Balbo. I remember that, and that's still in my head. That's why I'll never send anyone Twitch streams unless I'm winning. You got to play smart.
Yeah, shout out to him.
Oh, yeah. Definitely love the guy. It was great seeing him in Fighter Fest as well.
Yeah, I had him as a commentator.
He needed to.
Of course. I had to give it to him. But yeah, man. I mean that's it as for a recap. I know some people wanted to, hear my thoughts on, the whole Smash thing and whatnot, because there was, there's more to it, but I think I've gotten everything that I want to say off my chest, and it's like I can now freely move on now, because it's like there's no hate or angst or a lot of animosity towards Smash that I have now that I'm leaving it, but it's just more so the fact that I'm good now.
Yeah,
I'm good, and
that's good.
I can look back at my progress from the very beginning, because Smash was one of those games that I was there for the longest and whatnot. Like coming in to Flynn's as a TO when they did, they were like, they wanted to run tournaments, but it was like they needed like a good direction on how to run one. And here comes me, because at that time I was like helping them like streaming it and whatnot. But here comes me. I was like, you know what? I'll be the TO. I'll run Smash.
Yeah, you did step in without like any hesitation.
Yeah, and I just went with it and whatnot. And I was like, I'll take charge. I'll do it. And fast forward now, here we are.
Yeah, you learn from a lot of people in like such a short time. Like Aerodust is a good example. Shouts out to him.
Mm-hmm. DGK as well.
Yeah. So you had some good people within you or within your group.
Yeah, and that's another thing. Like I would say if it wasn't for if it wasn't for the Smash community, I would say like Flynn's would not get to the level to where it is, because they were there in the beginning.
Yes, they were.
They were there in the beginning, so it's like I can't shit on the community as much as people would want me to shit on that community.
That's right,
because of the way that they treated me. I cannot shit on them for the fact that they've helped build Flynn's.
They did. They got people.
They've helped. They've helped build Flynn's to where it is at. They've helped Flynn's get to this level where it's at. They've helped me get to the level to where I'm at. So I cannot shit on them for that. I can't. When they complain about certain things, okay, I can take that by case. But as far as like their contribution, yeah, they got us to this level.
Agreed.
They got us to this level, and I cannot fault them for that. They got us here. And I still feel that they'll get us even further later down the road.
We'll just wait for the next Smash. No, I'm kidding.
But my involvement as a TO is like, nah, I'm not doing it no more. Lizard King, Saybreak, they're the new TOs. They're steering the ship from now. Me, I'm just fixing and repairing and getting the materials needed to keep the ship going. That's my role. So.
Aye, aye, Captain.
Anything else? We'll answer a few questions from the chat. So from y'all that are watching on Twitch, if there are any questions that you want to ask myself and Waluigi, we have about 5 minutes. It's 11:15, so we'll answer a few questions up until 11:20. So
yeah,
y'all can ask away.
I did respond to the mighty Yahiko. He's like next event, and then I presumed, just in general, I'll probably be going to the Flynn's weeklies, and then prepping for CEO. Beyond that, probably Florida SuperCon and...
Matt, you definitely need to come to CEO.
Yes, you do.
But I know next year I'll probably go to Combo Breaker and maybe Texas Showdown. Maybe Texas Showdown next year and Combo Breaker next year.
If I'm financially stable, I would love to go to EVO at least once.
What's Ryu's favorite color? Bro, I don't know. You tell me.
Who asked this? Soto?
Yeah. What's Ryu's favorite color?
I feel like there's a pun behind this. I feel like it's a horrible dad joke, and I'm gonna enjoy it.
I'm like, I don't know, bro. You're gonna have to tell me about that.
Not the setup. But I am contemplating between CEO Taku, First Attack Puerto Rico, and some other events. I do want to save my money wisely.
Yeah, I think for me it's just going to be because the fact that I have CEO and Florida SuperCon back to back. I ain't going to other events that are outside the state of Florida. So I'll just go to those two events because they're more cost effective for me, and CEO Taku because it's cost effective for me.
Agreed. I'll most likely lean towards CEO Taku. Because First Attack does seem nice, and I don't think I'm ready. Well, I think I'm definitely ready for Puerto Rico, but financially I'm not.
Yeah, it's just one of those things where it's like you have to make like a really educated guess on if you want to go. But if you're still debating on that and you want to save some cash, then you could ask Undergod.
Yes, I know. He already messaged me.
Okay, yeah. I told him to message you, like if you're still on the fence about going or whatnot. That way you could just book a room with him and whatnot, save you some cash.
Ripper, I'm so confused. He's asking Soto what is the color of white bread? What off-white page is that? Hex code. the bands that threw me off.
Is that so, Matt? Because I know when Tekken 8 comes out, I know all the usual guys that were back in my Tekken 8, my Tekken 7 streams, like back in 2021
You're online,
and 2020.
go crazy.
Yeah, like I know we're gonna have some stream sessions of that, so I'm definitely looking forward to that. They'll come back.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. A lot of like pioneering fighting games. I think I'm gonna steer clear from Tekken 8 at least for now, because I do want to focus on Street Fighter 6.
Yeah.
Because I can only do a certain game at a time. I'm a slow learner.
Gotcha.
I've accepted that for the longest time of my lifetime, and I was stubborn about it. But after playing Guilty Gear and processing certain things like frame data, hit boxes, hurt boxes, my brain is mushed.
Yeah, like for me, I can play a multitude of fighting games. Like most of the anime fighters, I could play them, but it is gonna take me time to like learn combos and setups and traps and shit and whatnot. Like I'm decent at BlazBlue, decent at BlazBlue Tag, pretty good in DNF Duel. I just have to learn matchups all over again.
I'm not touching DNF Duel. I don't think anyone is.
Uni, Under Night, I have to relearn that game all over again, but I can play it.
I'd rather play Pokken.
What else? What other anime fighters? Grand Blue, you already know. I play Grand Blue.
Yeah,
heavy.
I do dabble Grand Blue, and Flafa has taught me a little bit of Lil Wayne. It's not good yet, but it's ready. It's getting there.
Melty Blood, I could play it.
I can't play Melty Blood.
Yeah, it's like with me, I could play a lot of anime fighters. Like I don't know, I could play any fighter if I just put my mind to it, except King of Fighters 15. I would say that's the one game where it's like I'm at a block, but I need to put in a lot of time into it because the funny thing about King of Fighters 15, I could play 13 solid. 15
really?
is just like I love KO 13, and I'm so happy they're getting rollback.
Ooh.
They're getting rollback, and it's gonna come out on a PS4, PS5. So
Okay,
I'll be jumping back into KOF 13. Yay, because I love that game. But 14 is just like 15.
My disrespect for Bandai is huge just because I played JoJo's All-Star Battle Plus R and there's no net. It's delay-based netcode. It's pain. I have to watch myself get TOD'd for like 3 minutes when it could have been done in like a minute.
Tragic.
And I do play like I do play a few heavy-hitting characters. I'm laughing at CEO Taku. There's like 80 plus entrants and I got like 33rd and I don't even play the game. I cheesed off of footsies. Not my proudest thing to say.
Hey, you got to do what you got to do, man.
And lost to the two people I got top 8.
Got to do what you got to do. But anyway, y'all, we're going to go ahead and wrap this up. We'd like to thank y'all for watching and tuning in. We greatly appreciate y'all.
Thank you guys so much.
Appreciate the sub from Ripper.
Michigan.
Greatly appreciate
Michigan
you.
Thank you.
Thank you for supporting the podcast. Greatly appreciate y'all. Will we do another episode next Sunday?
I mean, I'm free anyways.
Wait, isn't next Sunday Mother's Day?
Oh no, yes it is. So
Yeah, next Sunday is the Mother's Day. So yeah, there's no podcast episode next Sunday.
So 2 weeks from now,
Yeah, so 2 weeks from now we'll have another episode because
we'll have AJ back most likely.
yeah,
Unless I had to take him hostage.
yeah, if his girlfriend take him hostage like Katie, we need him. Okay,
Yes, we do.
we need him here. Okay, you've had him enough. We need him. It's our turn.
We got to clip this for later.
Yes.
Send it to AJ. Alrighty, folks. Thank you guys so much for watching the episodes. Thank you for the people that have actually tuned in since the last recap, which is like almost a year ago.
I mean, we don't necessarily
We don't
count
do-
that.
we
Yeah,
don't
we ain't count.
I just
count
wanted
that.
to be nice.
It's just the fact that we've been gone for a good minute. Because after Saybrook, we've just been like, in hiding or whatnot, and that's because of the fact that I was getting ready for Fighter Fest. So,
All right, I think we're good to go.
Yep. All right, y'all. This has been episode 77 of the South Florida Gamers Podcast. We are signing out.
Peace.